Now the room's tidy, welcome to this week's Ghetto vlog, and it's finally time to implement those game room changes that I've been talking about for a few weeks. I've got big changes planned, but before I get into that and outline the plans of all that with you guys, some parcels have arrived, so let's open them. Right, okay, so let's get into these, shall we? There's two here which are intriguing me because they're the larger two and I haven't got a clue what they are. There's one which I know what it is. Actually, before we do any of that, I need to address something from last week's video. So, at the start of last week's video, I showed a clip of me, let's just say, being perturbed by the damage that I'd created myself. So I showed that I damaged the Master Chief arm, and I did this to what I believe is a one-off piece of this display Mario. So basically what happened was, when I was getting ready for the room tour video, anything that didn't have a home in here, such as this, the stool and other things that just don't need to be part of the tour, I took them all out into the main house so I could film in here and have the room looking perfect. When I brought them back, I did that typical man thing of trying to carry everything in one go, and I had them all on the stool, and as I went past Master Chief, I clipped his arm, the arm fell off, and I was in this real predicament. I was home alone, I couldn't shout for anybody, I was kind of balancing all this heavy stuff on this chair. Master Chief's arm was leaning between this and the back Billy bookcase, and I was trying to like hold all the stuff whilst grabbing the arm. I kind of held it for like probably a minute when I was trying to establish what I'm going to do. It was heavy. I tried to like grab the arm, it didn't work, it fell, and I didn't even know at the time this was underneath it. It landed on this, and you've seen the clip yourself. I knew straight away it damaged this because I could see like flakes of red, so I was very annoyed. I did mean to address it on last week's video, but because we've been going away to York and stuff, it was such a busy turnaround that I just forgot to get into it. But that's what happened. Thankfully, I know somebody, a very good guy who can fix these for me. So we're going to go and pay him a visit on a vlog in the not too distant future. So hopefully you won't even be able to tell. Fingers crossed, because yeah, as I say, this is a one-off piece. And there is plans for Master Chief, which we'll get to with the room changes very shortly. Right, so that's basically what happened. A lot of people asking me, and understandably so. But yeah, that's the story there. I think we're going to start with... We'll start with the one that I know what it is. And then we'll get to the others. So these have come from my friend Jo over at Super Smash Gaming. Now, she's had a bit of a hiatus from YouTube recently, but I'm pleased to say she's back. Now, I believe the first video she's come back with is about why she sold her Xbox 360 collection. Now, I think the majority of that was sold on the Ghetto Gang Discord. The Ghetto Gang Discord for sale page, and the free, it's called Free to GG. The Free to GG tab on there has been on fire in recent days. I've bought some fantastic stuff, which you'll be seeing on this vlog or next vlog as and when it arrives. But yeah, it's just bad for your wallet, that's for sure, that Discord. But yeah, as always with everything that goes on there, it was all done at mates rates, so some real good prices. And these are 3 games which I just didn't have in my Xbox 360 collection that are somewhat uncommon but more expensive titles for the system. And this one is a great example of that. So the first one in here is Monster Madness Battle for Suburbia. So this one's a 2007 Artificial Studios developed game, and I think in this one you have to escape different monster-infested locales, and you're defeating zombies and various other monsters throughout. And I think one of the sort of unique features on this game is that you can combine objects found around the various towns to create bigger and better weapons. And I just think it's one of them games that's always looked interesting and somewhat uncommon, but definitely more on the expensive side. This is like a £25 game. Fantastic box art. And yeah, just one of them games that when there was that massive 360 spike after the online closures of the store, this is one of the games that was very infrequently in stock at CEX, as I think all 3 of these were. We're starting to see stock levels go back up, but not all of the prices are coming down, which tends to be the usual way, right? But yeah, very happy to add this one to the collection. I often say, if you've got any experience, let me know in the comment section, but definitely let me know about this one because it's one that I'm definitely intrigued to play. Right, so let's get into the other 2, which are in here somewhere. Very well packaged. Okay, Okay, what is next? I'll save that one for last, actually. Oh, I forgot about this one. Okay, we have got Leisure Suit Larry, Box Office or Bust. This one's a 2009 action-adventure game developed by Team 17, and it's the 8th Leisure Suit Larry game, the first released on the 7th generation of consoles. And it features open-world sandbox gameplay, and it's got attractive women in it and suggestive themes like most of the Leisure Suit Larry series. I think in this one, though, there isn't actually any nudity like there is in some of the previous games, and the developer of this game said that previously they'd used nudity as a mask for poor gameplay, whereas this time around apparently it's got a solid story, clever setups and great payoffs. I've never actually played a Leisure Suit Larry game. I've seen clips and I'm aware of some of the lewd nature of some of the earlier games, but yeah, just one that I wanted to pick up, an interesting title that I didn't already have in my Xbox 360 collection. This one is currently £10 at CEX. It's not overly uncommon, you can pick a copy of this one up. But yeah, very much tongue-in-cheek, adult-themed game, I believe. So yeah, Leisure Suit Larry. And that takes us to this final one here. And that is Dead to Rights Retribution. A 2010 third-person action game developed by Volatile Games. You play as Jack Slate, a Grant City police officer, and his trusty canine sidekick, Shadow. This one received mixed to average reviews. Game Informer are actually quite favourable to this one. They gave it an 8 out of 10. But another one of them games which has always intrigued me. I mean, look at the box art. I think I've got one of these games on, maybe I want to say the PlayStation 2. I know that this is like the rebirth of the franchise, so I know that there are some games prior to this one. And again, not a cheap game at CX. This is currently £18. So yeah, just 3 games I'm very happy to add to my Xbox 360 collection. 3 very different games, but all ones that I'm intrigued by and want to test out in the not too distant future. Massive shout out to Joe for the fantastic deal on these. Great to have you back on YouTube, Joe. And there will of course be a link to Joe's recent video in the description below. So yeah, go and check her out. Fantastic person. And once again, much appreciated. So now, let's get into these, which are very much, I think I already said, I think I've used the word intriguing a few times, but that is the best way to sum these up, because I don't know what they are, and they're in big boxes, so let's get into it. Oh no, packaging peanuts! Oh, I've just tidied up my room. What is this? Ah, okay, I know what this is now. Now it's starting to make sense. Damn you, Theo Kane, for infesting me with packaging peanuts. Right, hang on. I don't want to damage what's in here. I also don't want to make a mess of my room. What we have here is a fantastic action figure from the House of the Dead. This is Strength with Chainsaw. That is very cool. Very macabre, look at that. So this isn't actually mine. This was sent for Theo, aka Slimehouse TV. I think this is the last one he needs to complete his House of the Dead set. And he had it sent through to me. Somebody sent it to my collection. I've got a collection address. So yeah, I said to Theo, just get it sent to me and then I'll pass it along to him. But yeah, look at that. Amazing piece. And I think that is the completion of his set of these figures. So happy to help in some small way. And yeah, I can see why he collected this set for sure. Right, okay. And thanks for the packaging peanuts, whoever you are. Right, okay, so next up we've got this one, and it's very light. Okay, the name on the back has got me even more intrigued. Let's just get into it. What on earth is this? We got a bag of dicks! Excuse me, I couldn't help but make that joke. So, judging by the back, right, let's just see. Let's see if there's a note in here. There is a note, okay, that's good. Big Cow, Happy New Year, mate. Picked this up for you way back when I was in Texas. Been meaning to send it. Life just been busy. Moved and opened the gym, etc. Finally, stable, Squire. Just a small gift as a thank you for your great work. Love seeing it, and you really do deserve a lot of credit and success, mate. Thank you. Videos are great and help a lot with bodybuilding competition preps. I love the gaming community. As always, brother, all the best. James Hollingshead. P.S. Hope it fits. So, gotta give a massive shout out to James. So James is an IFBB pro bodybuilder, one of the best bodybuilders in the world. He reached out to me a while back and told me that he enjoys watching the channel, and he watched it when he's doing his cardio and prepping for his competitions, and we've been in communication ever since. So massive shout out to James. And also an extra special shout out because I know that he's recently posted that he's got his first child on the way. His partner's expecting, so congratulations to you, sir. What a start to the year that is. And let's have a look. I think he's in Cheltenham. He's opened a gym in Cheltenham, so it's a bit far, but from over that way, I'm definitely going to go and check out that gym. He said I hope it fits. Now, he probably wears like a 6X. So, oh, hello. Yes, he knows me well. Okay, this is a large. This will fit. Hello, look at that. A Carhartt top. Sure, I saw it here somewhere. Yeah, we've got a little Carhartt there, look. You know me well, sir. I was not expecting that. I thought this was going to be like a gym t-shirt. You know, like when you go to various gyms and you can pick up like different t-shirts with their logo on and stuff. What a great guy. Very thoughtful gift. Much appreciated, my friend. I think I mentioned before on the channel, James actually went viral. He put a video out of himself at a Comic-Con event and he went as Kratos. So now, I think he's ruined it for all other Kratos wannabe cosplayers because no one can do it like James did it, right? You'll be seeing the footage on screen now. And yeah, I'll make sure there's a link in the description to go and check that out as well. He's also got a YouTube channel, so if you're into bodybuilding, fitness, anything like that, make sure you go and give him a sub because, yeah, just a great guy. And thanks again, my friend. Very kind of you. So yeah, that is a great start to this week's Ghetto vlog. I feel buoyed by that. I'm going to pick up these packaging peanuts and then we're going to fly over to IKEA so we can make a start on these game room changes. Let's go. Okay, so we have a problem. Well, maybe not so much a problem as a change to the plans. Thankfully, I checked before I went, or there would have been a problem. So my local IKEA, which is Giltbrook, Nottingham, doesn't have what I need in stock, and it's not shown as being in stock until like a couple of weeks from now. So the next IKEA along is, I think, somewhere Birmingham way. Can't remember exactly where it is, but they do have what I need in stock, but it's just over an hour away. So yeah, it's a bit further than I intended to be traveling, but I think needs must because both the items that I want are showing as being low in stock. So I don't think I can hang around. Thankfully, it's open till 10 o'clock tonight. So I think we're going to do a late night IKEA trip. But what I'm going to do before that is sort of outline the plans, or at least start emptying some of these cupboards so that we can implement the changes when I do get the bits from IKEA. Okay, so that is the PS3 Essentials taken out. It's crazy how many there are. When you see it like this, it really does sort of ram home how many there are. But yeah, we'll spin it round. You can see my Ghetto by Name, Ghetto by Nature stands. I forgot how ghetto these were actually. So these are what I've been housing. The 2 rows of PS3 Essentials. So, I think it's time to discuss the plans. Obviously I'm going to empty the rest of these, but just finding the time. So the plan is basically to remove all of these units. Now these are currently half height billies with an extension. The plan is to take all of these out and replace them all with full size billies. So the 2 standard width ones and the 1 half width. Now I have measured and this will fit fine. It's somewhere up and about here. Now you might be thinking, what about the window? And that is a good question. And that was one of the things that stopped me from doing this before, but it's a relatively simple workaround. So what I'm going to do, I have the full size billies that will come up to just below the sign. I might have to move Nintendo up a little bit. But yeah, it's going to come just below the sign. And I'm going to cut the back. So the backing, which is just a real thin sort of like MDF, not so much on the riser actually, it's quite thick, but the standard ones, it's quite a thin piece of MDF. I'm just going to cut it underneath the window so I can still access the window. The one other thing that's then going to need fixing is Master Chief. He won't be able to stay like this. Well, this arm, which is always causing me the problem, here's the broken piece. I'm just going to take the arm off. And what will happen then is I'll be able to put this unit all the way up and he'll just have one arm, but it won't look like he's got one arm sort of thing. Do you know what I mean? You won't be able to see the missing arm or the hole because it's going to have a unit going all the way up. Now, obviously, this is all a risk. I don't know how any of it's going to look. What I do know is I'm running out of space. And I think this is a good solution. Now, theoretically, my original plan was to maybe add not only the new billies up here, but then to add a riser as well. And there should be enough space even with the slanted roofs. Now the issue with that is this piece here. I can't get a full half width billy and a riser before that slanted roof. So that's not an option. I could theoretically put something there which will plug that gap, and we'll get to that in the fullness of time because obviously I've got the risers already, so I don't need to worry about buying those. Now I also want to stress, this is just phase one. There are two big changes that I'm going to be doing. Obviously, we'll get to the rest in the fullness of time. But for now, this, I think, is project enough. So I'm going to get as much of this emptied as I can. And yeah, then we're probably going to do a very late night trip to IKEA to pick up the two full-size billies, the full height half width billy, and then get up early tomorrow morning and yeah, implement all the changes. That's the plan. Let's go. Okay, just giving you guys an update. I've tried to create as much space as possible because obviously I'm going to be building a lot of IKEA furniture here. So we have moved the kiosk out. I've further cleared more stuff. As you can see, there's a lot of games now piled up here, front and back. But it has got us a bit closer to being empty. These little like water capture things, I've got these all around the room. So yeah, I think they're a good top tip if anyone's worried about moisture or damp or anything. I just put them, I've probably got 10 of them in this room, and I just have them behind my games. Master Chief's arms off. Ignore the fact this hand's off, that's just for precaution because I'm going to be doing a lot of moving and building in here. I didn't want to knock it, we already know the problems that we've had with Master Chief. But I think that looks okay. I think like once you picture that hand being there, once the units come up, I don't think it's going to look silly, that arm not being there. Obviously we'll be able to judge that better once it's done. One of the issues that's going to come from all this is this Undead Nightmare standee. I don't know exactly where that's going yet, but again, like I keep saying, a lot of these things are going to come out in the fullness of time. I've now got the job I've been putting off of putting all of these figures somewhere. I'm not going to lie, I'm a bit nervous. There's so much work in doing this. And if it doesn't work out, putting it all back, it's going to be a huge waste of money and time. My IKEA build's looking at least £150 to get what I need. But like I say, there is a phase 2. We are going to be reusing some of this stuff. We'll get to that later on. But yeah, I'm going to try and clear out as much more of this as I can. I'm trying to keep everything tight in here so it's not in my way, but I am fast running out of space. Okay, so I've made it to IKEA Wednesbury. Never been here. I don't think I've ever been to any IKEA except for the one in Nottingham. I can think of a million things I'd rather be doing than a 2-hour round trip at this time of night. Emptying the car, getting the pram out, pushchair out, putting the seats down. The things we do for our game rooms, right? Normally when I go to IKEA, we float around, we have something to eat. I film little things throughout my journey. Not tonight. I'm finding exactly where the big billies are. I'm getting them loaded up, I'm getting them in the car, and I'm getting back home. Let's go. These big billies are heavier than I remember. I need to stick to them half billies, man. These full billies ain't no good for your back. Right, let's get back. I've had enough. I need a cup of tea. And I am back. Man, that was a long evening, let me tell you. I just kept telling myself it's going to be worth it when I wake up tomorrow morning and all the legwork's done. So continuing in that vein, what I'm going to do is get these shelves completely empty tonight so that I wake up in the morning with a car full of units. These units completely cleared, ready to be moved. And yes, let's start in the morning with a blank piece of paper so we can get into it and get everything built. So yeah, I'll see you in the morning in a bit. Retro Ghetto. Good morning! It was a very early start for myself. The car's been unloaded, and as promised, the shelves have been emptied, and I don't know, man, the nerves are starting to set in a little bit, right? Because the reality of how big a task this is, I mean, if nothing else, just putting all these games back into some sort of order, it is a big job. Not to mention all the Street Fighter figures and stuff that are now in bags, but yeah, I'm still feeling optimistic. The biggest problem we're going to have today is space. Whilst I've created a large sort of like open area, these big billies are massive. My back found that last night when I was loading at IKEA. So yeah, having enough floor space to build these things comfortably. Also, I've got to find somewhere for these to go whilst I'm in the process of putting the big ones here and replacing all these. So yeah, that's probably going to be the biggest headache. Certainly this morning is just sort of like the logistics of it all, but yeah, we're going to figure it out. I'm going to get this built, and yeah, operation phase 1 is about to commence. Also, side note, there's almost £200 worth of shelves in this lot based on IKEA's ridiculous pricing of a shelf. It's starting to get real. Very real. Okay, no real turning back now. It's been a long time since I've seen that wall. One of the first things I ever did in this room was put these shelving units here. Okay, so now, like I referenced earlier, it's about making space so that we can get the first of the big billies built and see how it's going to look. I wish I had a pan for every one of these things I've put in billies over the years. Okay, so the unit itself is built, minus the backing being put on, but that's because we're going to have to modify that to get it below the window, as we spoke about yesterday. But we can now get this upright and get an idea of how it's going to look against that back wall. Okay, so it's in, and I think the good news is I'm going to get away without having to move the Nintendo sign. It's not too close to it, because if you moved it up just a couple of inches, you're getting too close to those LED lights, I think. Obviously, like everything, we'll know better once it's all up and it's full of games and stuff, but thankfully I'm probably not going to have to touch that, which is always a bonus because, yeah, that thing's delicate, man. But yeah, otherwise, happy with that. Now, obviously, this is all going to look a lot better once it's full of games, because I'm going to put the back on, but I think the best thing to do is measure the back in and just go as far as that shelf. There's part of me that thinks, do I need to put the backing on at all? But it does provide
an additional rigidity. Now, obviously, these are only IKEA. They're not the highest quality pieces of furniture. And you can see on things like this one's unsteady, and it's because this has come apart. So I'm going to refix that before we use it again. But yeah, I think what I'll do is get it measured up and cut a nice straight line, so it'll be pretty much flush with the window ledge. And the good news is it's not too high, so I can easily get in here, even if I just have to move a few games, get in here, open the window as and when needed, and then obviously be able to close it again as well. So yeah, pretty happy with that. So, good news and good news, I think. Firstly, I put it where it's going to sit, so exactly where the last one was. Used obviously the markings on the floor. I think Master Chief looks fine. It doesn't look odd, it doesn't look stupid. Obviously it'll look even less noticeable once this hand's on and once that's full of games. I don't think it's going to be a case of, oh, where's Master Chief's arm? It's just going to be Master Chief's in the corner. His arm could be down by his side. And you know, even if you come right round here, not much of that's on show. This is all going to be filled with games, and I could even use a Posca paint pen just to colour all this in black. Before I put this in for good, which I think I'll probably do, just again to take the eye off that slightly, even more so. And the other good news is I don't think we're going to need to put the backing piece on, which saves me a headache because I'm not going to have to cut it, measure it, worry about it. The wall's white anyway, and in terms of rigidity, I don't think it's going to need it. We're going to have about 10 shelves on here, minimum. It's up against Chief, there's no movement. There's going to be another heavy unit here, all of which are going to be filled with games, obviously. So it's going to be so tightly, densely packed in with shelves and other units. I don't think the backing's going to be necessary. And then, like I say, I don't have to worry about second-guessing myself in terms of like how much to cut it, what it's going to look like, is it going to look rough, do I have to put a shelf here to sort of like cover the edge, all that sort of stuff. It's not going to be necessary. So yeah, I think we're on to an absolute winner. I'm going to take that out now. Hoover up and everything whilst everything's out of the way, get the second one built and the third one built, and then yeah, hopefully next time you see me we'll have everything in situ, ready to start thinking about what games are going in there. Two big Billies built! And with that, all 3 units are built. So the only thing left to do now is get them all put into place. But before that, I think I've earned this break. I can honestly say it looks better than I imagined it would look. Yeah, I don't know, it feels right. It feels like it should have always been like that. Obviously the window is why it wasn't like that. And when I built the room I didn't need this much space, but obviously collections grow. But yeah, it just feels right. And I think with me not putting the back on, it's just perfect. 'Cause I've got no worries now about how easy it is to access my window or anything like that. I did paint this, as you can see. Much better than it looked before. You can't notice that now. It's not an eyesore basically. And like I said before, from this angle, it just looks like it's supposed to be like that. And obviously, what I haven't really spoken about is why I'm doing this. I mean, there's so much more space now. I mean, I've got about £37,000 worth of shelves. Obviously, I've still got all the shelves from the other units. And just a couple of days ago, I was at the in-laws, and they said, "Oh, I've got a unit I'm getting rid of if you want it." And guess what it was? It was a half Billy bookcase. So I was like, "Yep." So that's another 3 or 4 shelves. So it's stocked up on shelves. But yeah, I mean, I went into this tentatively. I said to you guys I was nervous. Even getting to this stage has eased those nerves. I think it looks great. I think the only thing left to do now really is get some shelving in, put some games on. I think what I'm going to do is stick a YouTube video on or some football or something and really enjoy myself. Not film it, but just have an evening, old school style, enjoying rearranging my games, cup of tea, bit of chocolate, and then yeah, I'll show you guys what it looks like with some games in here. But yeah, I'm delighted. Perfect start to the morning after a late night of game room rearranging. A late night, but a great night. It was just an old school, no filming night, watching YouTube, putting games on shelves, rearranging it, and I genuinely could not be happier with the results. But before I get into showing you what I've created, let's kick off with the first 2025 Ghetto Gang Game Room Tour.
Retro Ghetto.
Hi guys, Ghetto Gang member 8-Bit Stevo here. Welcome to my game room. Okay, so I'm going to start over here in the 8-bit section. I was actually a 80s kid, so ZX Spectrum and Commodore 64 were my world back then. I'm not actually a collector of games for those systems nowadays, but these are all my original cassettes from back in the day. I delivered a huge amount of newspapers in the cold and wet to save up for this little lot, so it's quite nice to still have them. Some of the game names are quite funny. Gobbleman, probably couldn't get away with now. And we've got the Atari 2600 Plus, which is a recent addition. I thought that looked quite nice. Big Street Fighter fan, so got a few Street Fighter trinkets. Some of the Jada figures there. And then modest Dreamcast collection. Absolutely love the Dreamcast, my favourite retro console of all time really. Absolutely loved it back in the day. And over here we have the mini consoles. I think they're a great way of just very quick plug and play, nostalgic hit. Mega Drive's probably my favourite. And then I've got my Mega Drive collection here. This is quite a recent direction for me really. Always wanted a Mega Drive back in the day and I actually had a SNES. Never did manage to get a Mega Drive. And so collecting these now is really, it's great. I think they look, I love the artwork, I think they look great and I love the way they display. Got a few more Mega Drive games up there. And then we've got PS2, which is my most recent collection really, so still expanding. A few GameCube, not many. A few Blu-rays. And then down here we've got the Sega Astro City Mini arcades, and then the Taito Egret Mini over there, which has got the rotating screen, that's quite cool. And then my favourite console of all time is Switch. Absolutely love the Switch, it's got such a great library, so versatile. I'm not really a console collector. I couldn't resist a couple of the limited edition variants there. And then I've got the retro controllers for Switch, including the Famicom one, which came from Amazon Japan, bundled with the NES World Championships Japanese version. Got the Switch physical collection there. Got the Mario and Luigi variants of Mario Kart Live. Thought that looked really good fun actually, haven't tried it yet. A few steelbooks, and then I've got some strictly limited collector's edition boxes down there. Big shmup fan. And in the middle here we've got the trusty IKEA Kallax unit. Probably going to put a false back on that to hide some of the wires. Dreamcast probably gets the most use, I guess. I've replaced the drive in that with an SD card reader because it failed. Got a few of the Switch controllers. Gonna probably mount them on there. Then over here we've got the PS3 collection. I've tended to go for all killer really, so I like to research the games and choose the games that I like the look of and I think I'd actually play. There's one or two more expensive titles in here, but I tend to just get what I want and then leave it at that really. So I've pretty much got what I want for the PS3 now. Likewise for the Wii. There's one or two titles in there people would regard as filler, like Cooking Mama and Just Dance, but actually I've got a huge amount of nostalgia for those titles because The Wii was our family console when my kids was very small, and got some great memories of playing the Wii with the kids. We've got some of the big box special editions down there with the limited edition controllers. And over here we've got N64. I was going for a PAL set at one point, but decided not to now, really, because so many rubbish sports titles to soak up the funds. I've got about 160 complete in-box games there. I got a bit carried away, really, because I haven't got a great deal of love for the system, and I don't think it's actually aged very well. And this is actually my workplace as well, because I work from home, so that's my work desk with my PC. I'm not a gamer, PC gamer. Don't know who that guy is. And then we've got my favourite piece, really, which is my homemade arcade machine. I built this during the COVID lockdown period, designed it myself and built it completely from scratch in my garage. It was quite challenging because it was difficult then to get some of the materials because everywhere was closed. But I got it done. Spent a long time configuring it. It runs a PC inside, big box front end. About 2800 ROMs on there, full main ROM set. It's arcade games only, there's no consoles on there. I spent a long time configuring it with CRT scanline shaders, and it's got all the video previews of all the games, and it's got all the bezel artwork. Absolutely love it. I designed some of the artwork on the cabinet myself, including the control panel, although I wish I'd paid a bit more attention to where that joystick was going to go. I've also got non-gaming collection in the room. So when I was a kid, if we were outdoors we were playing with RC cars, and if we were indoors we were gaming. So I've got a lot of nostalgia for these as well. They're all late 70s, 80s, 90s, and I've had fun restoring them, and it's got very good community behind it as well. And then finally over here we've got my little display cabinet with some Game Boy variants in there. A couple of Vitas. Absolutely love the Vita. Such an underrated system, really. And then I've got my original Spectrum from back in the day. The re-release Spectrum came out just before Christmas. And I've got the Bread Bin re-release 64 Maxi. I've got my original elsewhere as well. And that concludes the tour. Hope you liked it. Thanks ever so much for watching. Bye for now.
Retro Ghetto.
Yet again, the Ghetto gang coming through with an absolute fire. What a games room that is. Shout out to 8-Bit Stevo. Love the way he'd organised that room. Even the remote control cars on the wall, something I've never had a passion for, but how good did they look? And that arcade machine that he made himself. Number one, I wish I had the skills to do that, and two, I wish I had the room in here to have something like that. Fantastic room. Shout out to 8-Bit Stevo for sending that across for us all to see. And if you want to get involved and share your games room, there will of course be a link below in the description to join the Ghetto gang. Now, from one games room to another, time to show you what I was working on till the early hours of the morning. I just want to say firstly though, this is not the finished article by any means. All of this stuff's going to have to come back out. This is very much a test run. Obviously, we're going to have to go to yet another hardware store, do the trunking hack for all of these brand new shelves, so we know it's going to have to come off, but I did this for a few reasons. One, a bit of a test run. It's easy to stand here now looking at it and think, oh, I'd move that up, I'd drop them down, I'd put something to break that up there. So yeah, very much a test run. Also, there was games all over this room, if you remember, so I had to get stuff off the floor, off the shelves, where it wasn't supposed to be. And you know what, as much as anything else, I just love doing it. I had a great night putting games on the shelf. So yeah, without further ado, let's take a look at it. I've come right down to the other side of the room so you can get a good look at it. And guys, look how good it looks. Like I said, I think yesterday, when something works perfectly, it makes you think, why didn't I do that before? And that's definitely what I've been thinking ever since I started doing this. So as you can see, I sort of went mostly with the homage to red. Very much a work in progress. The first thing that I wanted to do, obviously, was get all of those PS3 essentials put away. Now, whilst I was previously happy with the double stack system that we had, there's no denying that they look better on their own shelf, right? That's just goes without saying. So I'm loving how that's now fully displayed across two rows rather than sort of like, yeah, double stacked. It's never ideal to do that. We've got, of course, the PS3 back in place, and you guys will know I've been hunting for a housing for these two for a long, long time. So with all this new space created, we might have found that house.
And yeah, I've left this shelf blank for now so I can easily access the window, can easily open the window from there. What I would probably do is put something here like these. So we put all of the Big Boys Toys Street Fighter new challengers. I always forget what they're called. So I've put all these back on. There was a few there, so we've cleared that shelf. What I'll probably do is put these on here so that I can easily just move one out the way to get to the window, because obviously you don't want to be moving loads of games every time you want to open and close that window. The Mario Stars pack, that probably won't stay there. It was just a case of getting that off the floor. Such a great piece, such a rare piece. I didn't like having it on the floor because, yeah, I was always paranoid it was going to get knocked or banged or something. And in terms of the PS3 games down here, I just put them there just so I could pretty much put everything back on the shelves that was there before, minus the toys, just to show you how much additional space we've got. So we've added a whole new row for PS3. This massive console's here. Those two big pieces are there. 3 of the Street Fighter new challengers have been added. And look how much space we've still got. And there's that whole shelf there. And remember, this is only phase 1. So we're going to be creating even more shelf space in the not too distant future. But I think it looks great. I really do. And like I say, when you take a step back, obviously the room's a mess. It's hard to really get a good picture of it, but there's not one piece of it I don't like. Even taking Master Chief's arm off that I was a bit unsure about, I just think it's worked really well. I just don't think it's a big deal. Yeah, let me know in the comment section below, guys, what you think of this, but I genuinely couldn't be happier.
Well, that's not a bad looking backdrop, is it? And that is going to do it for this week's Ghetto vlog. First things first, once again, I want to give a massive shout out to my friend James for the hookup on my new top. Make sure you go and check his channel out. There'll be a link, of course, in the description box below. But, as I said, guys, this is just... well, it's not really phase 1 complete because this is all going to change, but this is just phase 1 built. But you're not going to have to wait long for phase 2 because we're going to do another vlog. We're going to do a 2-week vlog, and that's going to drop on Wednesday. We're going to get straight into it. I can't really do much else in this room whilst it's in the state that it's in. So yeah, we're going to dive straight back into the game room upgrades this Wednesday. Make sure you're subbed to the channel, hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on that one, and yeah, then the changes will be complete, and then we can get into the real fun of properly getting everything arranged, getting all the games in the room moved around and get it looking better than ever. Loads of other things coming up on the channel as well, so make sure you're subscribed. Don't miss out. If you want to get involved with the Ghetto Gang and all the stuff that we've got going on the Discord and everything else, the link will be in the description box below as always. But guys, just want to say a massive thank you for everyone that's taken the time to watch, play your games, keep it retro. I'll see you for another vlog on Wednesday. Let's go.
These big billies are heavier than I remember.
Lock into the retro ghetto. Come and have a look around the ghetto. We got Sonic and Staples settle. Lock into the retro ghetto.
Right, post-credit gameplay time. Now, this is the point in the vlog where I usually play a game which I picked up on the vlog. However, we've not really picked that many games up. Not in terms of what's been shown on the vlog anyway, because obviously we've been busy with the game room changes, and I've been so busy in the real world and on YouTube that I really just want to be able to sit down and play Days Gone. We're not far off completing the story, so this will be my first completion of the year. But as you guys know, I'm going for the Platinum Trophy, so this game's probably already taken me longer than I thought it would. We're about 84-85% completed to getting the Platinum. So yeah, it's just about sitting down now and playing through it. Like I always say when we play Days Gone, guys, it's a very graphic game. It's not for kids. So if there's any kids watching, kids, appreciate you watching the vlog up until now, but this might be time for you to turn off because yeah, it's a very graphic game. We're going to be killing a lot of zombies in a lot of brutal ways. So we are heading to a mission at the moment. So you guys might as well come along for the ride. Now the warning's gone, let's kill some zombies! So I'm in this new area and there's like a lot more of these walkers wandering about. Walkers, wanderers, zombies, infected, I don't know. Why does everything call them something different? Is it like trying to be cool? Why can't you just call them zombies? Right, clear out the Ripper camp. So, basically, I've got 12 people to kill. What gun shall we use to do it? Let's see. There's one. So the Rippers are like a cult that kind of mimic the zombies. Oh man, I haven't got a decent melee weapon. Right, let's take these guys out of here. That'll do. What happened to him? I don't even remember doing that. I have got napalm though, so have a bit of that. Ha ha! Burn, baby, burn! Ripper Inferno! And I had somebody recently comment about like how high pitched I got when I was gameplay and some of the silly things I say. On my life, I do all this stuff when I'm sat here playing on my own. I don't know. When I'm gaming, I talk to myself a lot. I don't know. I just guess it's just excitement, isn't it? And enjoying what you're doing. Now on the game, my character hates Rippers. We recently killed their leader, Carlos. Right, have we got any bombs or anything? Try and make it like enjoyable for you guys rather than just getting my best gun out and blasting through them all. Because at this point in the game, bear in mind this is like New Game Plus. I've got all the best weapons and the best health and stuff, so it's not particularly challenging. Like I say, it's my second playthrough, so I'm fully maxed out. I've got almost every unlockable weapon and stuff. Let's take him out with a knife. So I haven't got a very good melee weapon, I must have used it. Melee weapons are a little bit like weapons on like Breath of the Wild. They've got like a shelf life. You can fix them, but yeah, you need a scrap to be able to do that. Best thing you can find really is a baseball bat. You can modify baseball bats with nails and spikes and all that kind of stuff. Oh, hello. This just got interesting. Where have all these come from? So these are the actual walkers. Every now and again you'll run into like a horde. Right, that's everybody dead. All the Rippers dead anyway. So this is a prime example of what I need to do in order to get the platinum. So we're 70% done of the Marauder Camp side quests. So yeah, obviously we've still got 30% to go before we can unlock that one. But there's like 3 or 4 that are like that, different enemy encampments that you have to attack all 100% of to get the platinum. Most of which you should just find along the way of the story. But obviously if needs be, once the story's done, I'll just go to a guide and find out where they all are and have a day cleaning up. 2025 is going to be the year of the Platinum Trophy for me. I'm not going to make any bold claims about how many I'm going to get because I'm so busy that my gaming time is limited. But yeah, I definitely want more Platinums, and I already know what I'm going to do next. I'm going to attempt to shmup next, which, God help me. Shmups are hard enough as it is without attempting a Platinum.
Colonel, reporting in that cult, R.I.P., they're no longer a threat.
Right, pick up some stuff.
It's a curious thing. I finally read the complete report filed by Captain Thompson. Seems they followed them from
Right, so that's that mission done. If I come across any other interesting missions,
themselves. Rest in
I'll start recording again for you guys. Okay, we're back on another mission. This time we're taking on a Marauder camp, I believe. It's not always just go and kill X, Y, and Z. There are story-based missions throughout, but these are the fun ones to film for you guys. You don't know the story, and I don't want to spoil it for you. I think it's one of the best games ever made in terms of mechanics for a bike. Just getting around in a post-apocalyptic world on a bike, it's just so much fun. It never gets boring.
Sir, they were.
Right, here we go.
No, sir. I just had. Surprise. Well, if I want to use it. Carry on. Carry it on.
Right, what should we do here? So, I have now got a baseball bat, so I can craft a weapon. We can have a spiked bat, a ripper club. This is a good one, a superior club, but I always like this. I think there's something cool about the bat axe. It's basically like a big... Yeah, look at that. Let's go and put this thing to use, shall we? If I can get out of this hole that I fell into. Oh, what's going on here? You've got flamethrowers. Right, let's see if your flame's any match for my new axe. Ha! Like a knife through butter. You can't take the flamethrower, unfortunately. I don't think you can ever get a flamethrower in this game. Actually, let me shoot that. That'll blow them up. Come on then, get a bit closer. No one near it. Oosh. Oosh. Where are they? Oh, they're up there. Let's see if we can get up on the roof. Yep. Look how many bullets this guy takes. I should have just hit him with that makeshift axe again. Like that. Oof. Look at this guy. You thought about jumping, didn't you? Should have jumped.
What was the last one? Oh my god.
80% on the Marauder camps. We're not far off unlocking what it will be a trophy for me. So there's like
Purple St. John reporting.
there's like basically a crossbow, and there's like 6 different bows in which you get, sorry, 6 different like arrows, one of which is like an incendiary one, I think, or like an explosive one. That's the last one to unlock. Once I unlock that and I can kill somebody with that, that'll unlock a trophy for me. And that one aside, I think it's literally just a case of 100% in all those kind of missions that I've just shown you. So it is really just a case now of playing through the game, doing all that kind of stuff, and yeah, hitting that platinum trophy. But guys, hope you've enjoyed that one. Hope you're enjoying my little Days Gone journey. As always, if you've watched to this point in the vlogs, much appreciated. Simply put in the comments section below, Days Ghetto, just to let me know that you're still here to the end. But remember, we are going to be having another vlog on Wednesday to get phase 2 done. So I'll see you on Wednesday. Peace.